artists, welcome back to my channel. So I had actually filmed an intro and I lost the footage. So here's my wonderful colored pencils. I'm too lazy to get in front of the camera again. So today we'll be testing out which red pencil of all of the major brands and some lesser known brands is the most light fast and which one is the least light fast. You'll see me put them out in the sun from peak times between 10 a.m. to about 5 p.m. for a while. And I actually did this test over the course of a week, so you'll get to see the results, and I will show you in just a moment exactly the method in which I did it. First, let me introduce you to all of the colored pencils that will be taking place in this test. And today's contenders include Prismacolor, Col-Erase in Scarlet Red, Eagle Prismacolor in Scarlet Lake, Barrel Prismacolor in Scarlet Lake, Lelix in some random number, and Polychromos by Faber-Castell in Scarlet Red, Luminance by Caran d'Ache in Aubergine, the Holbein Artist Colored Pencil in Scarlet, and Caran d'Ache Pablo in Scarlet, Winsor & Newton Red, and Blick Studio in Cherry Red, Derwent Coloursoft in Red, Derwent Procolour in Primary Red, Design by Bronzil Sakura Color, Marco Renoir Fine Art, and Koh-I-Noor Polycolor, Fluquist Premier Art in Red, and Montmartre in Essential Colors Tomato, and last but not least, Jane Davenport Magic Wand Pencil in Heartthrob.
A few moments later.
Okay, so it's about 11:30 a.m. and it's going to be high noon pretty soon. We're going to put this out into the sun. Also, just want to note this is on Strathmore colored pencil paper. And here in the Midwest, we have not hit fall yet. It is blazing hot these days, very humid too. So I'm actually, if you can see, I have a very big front yard where the sun actually comes up over and into the afternoon, and so it'll be perfect spot. So what I'm going to do is, let's see here, I don't want anything blocking away, so I'm going to kind of put it right smack dab in the middle, and there we go, folks. I also covered them in tape, and I had to do double and triple layering, so I didn't want any of the color to show through. And we'll just kind of leave this out in the sun and see where it goes. Just a quick note, I keep forgetting to tell you this. These colors are not blended, so I haven't touched them in blending. I just kind of wanted to see what they would do as far as being just raw and kind of burnished, but not actually blended. So we'll see what happens, okay? And I just checked the weather, and it is going to rain. So this particular experiment is going to be a little delayed. At this point, I kind of wonder if this is even going to be a useful video for anyone, but I certainly hope it will be.
Several days later.
So it is now 10:15 and it is about a week later. I guess about 5 out of the 7 days those particular colored pencils were out in the sun from the time of about 11 a.m. to 5 to 6 p.m. It was peak time for the sun to come over from the east over to the west, and that's where basically a lot of sunlight comes through and hits directly into my front yard and in my side yard. So it got a lot of extra condensed exposure time, and while I know that most artwork isn't going to be exposed to the sunlight directly for 4 or 5 days, you just never know. And so I took a look at this, and I want to say just up front that the tape did not work very well, and I did have to start back over and cover them up again with strips of paper. And so I let them sit out for several days, and we have the results finally. So the results of this particular test have really, really enlightened me and surprised me. I want to keep in mind here that some of the results may be contingent on whether the colored pencil is wax or oil based, because wax based pencils tend to be a bit more vibrant than oil based. I kind of sat here and I thought, how do I rate this? Do I rate it? I'm not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because there's so many that were kind of even tied in the middle. So some of the surprising results of this particular test, one of the most pigmented and Lightfast turned out to be this Winsor & Newton red right here. These are new to the market, and I'm going to be doing a full review on those. And so we also have, right below it, we have the Brunzell design color. And I'm going to show this as close as I can for you all to see that there really is no fading really at all. Same with the Winsor & Newton. I can't really tell too much of a difference there. And as well, we have Blick Cherry Red in Studio. This is one of the more affordable pencils now compared to, say, Holbein or Polychromos. So if you're around a Blick art material store and you're interested in testing out some of their pencils, they usually have about a 12 or 24 pack for anywhere between, I think, $12 to $24. I'm not exactly sure what the price is right now, but they always have sales. And they always have free shipping over $35. We also have the Derwent Procolour right here. And as you can see, there is a little bit of a shift. Not too much though. Actually, I'm not really surprised because, I mean, Derwent does make quality products. Also, the Coloursoft right next to it, the difference is that the Procolour is designed to behave more like an oil-based pencil, but also still have the pigment of a wax-based pencil. It is a wax-based pencil. Coloursoft came in really, really close second to the Procolour. And I feel like Coloursoft doesn't get enough love. It is a wonderful, wonderful pencil. Not surprisingly was the luminance, and I'm sorry, I don't have a red shade. This is all I have for luminance right now. I'm working on getting a bigger set, but the aubergine, I mean, it still does have red in it, so that's about as good as we're going to get right now. It is a permanent color. It's known to have the highest light fastness on the market. Now, as far as oil-based pencils go, we have the Polychromos over here, we have the Holbein Artist, and we have the Pablo here. We also have another oil-based pencil down here. We have Polycolor, and out of all 4 of these, the Polycolor did the best at holding up the red pigment. The Polycolor right here is outperforming the Scarlet Red in all 3 of the top 3 best colored pencils in the world that I have, in my opinion. I did a video on that. That is really surprising. Maybe, I mean, it is a darker shade than the Scarlets up here in this row, but I still feel like it outperformed them. And I'll be completely honest, I adore Polychromos, but I'm really surprised at how much that red faded just within the course of a few days. So we also have, so the Koh-I-Noor, the Polycolor. We're just going to call it the Polycolor. And it looks like Holbein did a little bit better than Pablo as far as light fastness is concerned. However, I'm going to give a little bit of leeway because the Pablo only had a 2-star rating on the light fastness on their pencil, as opposed to Holbein had a 3-star. I'm going to give it a little bit of slack there for Pablo. The more budget color pencils that I've done a review on, such as the Marco Renoir right here, that did really well. So that is an affordable line. And I've talked about this in my review for Marco Renoir. They don't have a Lightfast rating on their pencil. So now that you know, there is good light fastness there. And I hope I'm not butchering this brand's name, but the Pluquis PQ910 Red, that did very well as well. I'm really surprised about that. And these particular colored pencils are on Amazon, and a pack of 24, I think I paid $8. Yeah, I'll give you a link in the description below. Some of the worst results came from, obviously, number one would be the Col-Erase. But Col-Erase is not necessarily marketed as a Lightfast pencil to begin with. It's more of a sketching pencil that's erasable. So we'll give Prismacolor a little bit of slack for that. But yeah, there's quite a bit of fading there. This is another budget pencil, which is on the market, the Lilix 021 Red right here. There's quite a bit of a change there. They don't have any Lightfast ratings. However, you get 60 in a set. I mean, and it's like $7 on Amazon. Yes, you do get what you pay for. However, if you're using this for coloring books or you're just looking to do some preliminary artwork before adding in, you know, your final work itself, I absolutely do recommend them. But just keep in mind that, you know, the Lightfastness is not great. I would not recommend it for finished pieces or serious fine art. So our two vintage Prismacolors, they did all right. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily fantastic, but, you know, along the lines of the Polychromos. I mean, there's a little bit of fading there. I'm not exactly sure if that has anything to do with the fact that they're old pencils, but they do still actually feel very creamy and lay down even better than some of the modern day Prismacolors, to be quite honest. You can still feel their quality. It's just they've got a little bit of a shift going on. And some of the budget Montmartre Essentials, the tomato, you can obviously see that has a shift. It went kind of from tomato red to tangerine. Again, you know, that I absolutely love these pencils. They're great for sketching and they're great for along lines of Lilix where you can sharpen them to a fine point and they'll still give you some great preliminary artwork to go, and they're like $7. I mean, come on. So the Jane Davenport Magic Wand, I kind of basically put that in a category all its own because it's in a sort of specialty set of colored pencils. But you can see that, you know, there's a little bit of a shift, but it's not that much. I mean, and they don't have Lightfast ratings. As some of you may know, Jane Davenport has many mixed media art supplies, and so they're all kind of built to work with each other as she does herself with her work. So good on Jane. Going back over the results in a nutshell, I'm really super surprised about this Polycolor outperforming the Polychromos, Holbein, and Pablo as far as oil-based pencils go and just colored pencils in general. I mean, it really did a fantastic job of holding up the color. Winsor and Newton coming in very close behind that with its red and their brand new colored pencils. Blick Studio Cherry Red. Wow, just amazing. Just amazing. I love it. With no surprise, we have the Luminance Aubergine. Fantastic, top-notch quality colored pencil. The Brunziel Design, fantastic line of colored pencils, so beautiful, so pigmented, and obviously has a wonderful Lightfastness to it, even though on the pencils themselves they don't have a Lightfast rating. So you're finding out a lot about which brands are going to be Lightfast that don't necessarily market themselves with a Lightfast rating. I think that's fantastic. Probably some of the best Lightfastness as far as a cheap budget, I don't want to say the word cheap, inexpensive budget colored pencil turned out to be the Pluquis Art Red. And like I said, these are extremely affordable. I'll put a link in the description below. Derwent Procolour and Coloursoft, you always get my love, Derwent. You're fantastic. I love you. I love the feel of these pencils and the way that they perform. They feel luxurious, even though they're not the highest priced pencils on the market. It's just, I love Derwent. They're like the mad scientists of art supplies. Eagle and Barrel Prismacolor, I love you so much, but you know, I probably wouldn't use you for finished artwork because I see a shift. And another affordable brand, Marco Renoir, they're killing it there for being a wonderfully priced colored pencil. And I have a full review on those. I'll put a card up in the upper right hand corner. And so that's that, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it with you for a few more minutes and I'll see you in just a minute. Again, this is not to say that this is one brand versus another or one brand's better than another. It's just that the results speak for themselves. And I know realistically you may not put your finished artwork in direct sunlight without being protected and sprayed on with a final fixative. But this was just kind of a nice little way of getting things sped up and knowing that over time our artwork will fade, especially if we have it in direct sunlight, and even sometimes whenever we don't have it in direct sunlight. But if we take proper steps to, one, put a final fixative on it, maybe put it behind glass and keep it out of direct sunlight, then it will probably last just as long as it possibly can be, possibly years and years and decades later. You know, your children or your grandchildren can see your finished artwork, so that's always a plus. And so therefore the quality reflects the price sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. So as you can see, we had some pretty interesting results. We had some surprising results too. Weigh the pros and cons, see what fits your budget, and that's exactly, you know, a personal preference as far as what you prefer and the brands that you go after. So hopefully this video has made you think about your color pencil choices whenever you're going shopping, whether it be online or in a store. And you want to make sure that you have something good, quality, affordable, and light fast. That's the most important thing, probably over anything else, is just to make sure that you have something that will last you so many years to come, so it can preserve your beautiful artwork. And so I hope that you have found this enjoyable, fun, and if you like this particular video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and make sure you have those notifications on all, so whenever I upload new content, you will be informed. So thank you for joining me today, artists, and keep creating. You want to make sure that you have good quality, affordable, light fast pencils. Really? I just nailed it, and you had to like meow right there. I love you so much. I've got a cat sitting on these colored pencil results right now, so cleaning himself. Hi. Obviously we have the wonderful Luminance Bun card. So I'm going... So going back just as an overview... So I'm going to give you some footage really... Did I just spit? Oh my god, it went... Jesus. I love you. I love you too. That sunlight exposure... Okay, let's talk. Let's be able to talk, Jane. It's good to be able to talk for YouTube, right?